Welcome into Come Get Some. I'm your host, Blake Williams, here with Mr. Come Get Some himself, Gregg Williams. And this is a special Labor Day edition of the Come Get Some show. It's an amazing day here at Burke Lakefront Airport. We got Blue Angels flying by. We can see them as we're even shooting the show, right now. It's been an awesome day. Actually, check out a couple of these clips on if you've never been to the National Air Show in Cleveland. It's amazing. I mean, I've been to it before, but never here at actually Burke, and the size and the spectacle of it. I'm talking about like an air show and a carnival, like for well over a mile out here at Burke Lakefront. I mean, it's got to be 10,000 people. I mean, easy.
Easy.
It's amazing. It's been an amazing event. And to think that it's 4 days or 4.5 days of this is amazing. Just one other just cool thing, that Cleveland has, like the Clevelanders know. And if you're not from, here or live here, you don't know about, but it's just one more cool reason that we live here and shows here. Hey, we've got a great show lined up for you. Hey, we're gonna try to redo for our fans, though, our giveaway from last week. We had a lot of people respond to this, but not the way that you're supposed to respond, meaning they said, oh, that's cool, they comment or whatever, but they didn't enter the sweepstakes to the way they're supposed to be. So the signed giveaway for this week, for the second straight week, is a signed 12-pack of garage beer from GW and I.
Already signed.
And a 4-pack of the Come Get Some koozies that are signed by GW and I. What you have to do is go to our IG reel of this. You have to be following the Come Get Some IG account. You have to be following the Garage Beer IG account, and then tag somebody in the comments on this reel. Tag somebody in the comments that you'd like to share your garage beer with, and that's how you enter to win. All right, and so we've got a great show lineup for you. Like we said, we're going to have our great fan Jason Darwish, who is the founder of the Browns Bunch, super fan, godfather of the Muni Lot extraordinaire. We're going to have him joining us to talk about tailgating kickoff of the season and talk a little bit of a Browns Cowboys preview. But stick right with us. When we get back, we're going to be joined by Jason Darwish of the Browns Bunch. Welcome in to Come Get Some. I'm your host, Blake Williams, here with Mr. Come Get Some himself, Gregg Williams, and we've got a special Labor Day awesome special for you, here from Burke Lakefront Airport. A lot of things going on here, and we're joined by our great friend, all right, right here, Jason Darwish, founder of the Browns Bunch, super fan, godfather of the Muni Lot, all things, and he came here to hang out with us today and also talk a little Browns. Thank you for being here with us today, brother.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Appreciate it. No, I really appreciate it, and I was so happy when Blake brought up your name about bringing you in here, and I thought he would be a perfect fit to be on this show.
No doubt. And we actually go back all the way to, for the fans there, we go back all the way to 2017. Correct. Right? And so the Browns Bunch has you have a big charity that it's called, it's the Dogs
for the Dogs.
The Dogs for the Dogs, right? Yep. And so we raised money for shelter dogs and local, and had G-Dub come out and MC this massive event out in Berea at Grindstone Tap House, which we live in Berea, not very far from it, and have never seen as many people there as there are at that event when you guys host that every year. And G-Dub came out and MC'd that, and we brought the kids out there and the family out there and known each other ever since. But appreciate you, my man. But if you can give us a little bit of background, if you can, on the Browns bunch, like what they are, kind of their history. I understand it's like it's the big anniversary this year, right, for the Browns bunch?
It's our 20th season.
Wow, congrats, man.
Bunch,
yeah.
Congrats.
Thank
20
you.
years.
20 years, yeah. Started out as the Braylon bunch
Okay.
in 2005. You guys do remember Braylon Edwards?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Me, my cousin, a couple other buddies, my brother, bought a van and decided we wanted to, start tailgating. It was fun, something to do. Team wasn't that good at the time, so that was the best part of the Sunday mornings. And came up with the name Braylon Bunch when he got drafted, and just it went from there. And after a few years, things went sour with Braylon, and we knew he was leaving Cleveland, and the Browns Bunch was the backup plan. So
you changed the name to the Browns
yeah,
bunch.
that was we knew it's hard to market a player. In today's game,
It is.
They're not around, forever. So, but the whole Brady Bunch theme, there was 8 of us at the time.
Okay.
It was just 8 friends and relatives with a van, a 1990 Chevy G20 van, which I still have to this day, and it still runs. And we still use it, and an 8-person beer bong, which we are bringing out of retirement this year.
There you go.
Yeah. We haven't used that thing in I want to say 7 or 8 years. We're gonna bust it out of retirement.
We
And
are
look how it's grown, and I'm going to be there. I want to see that.
Not only are we going to be there, but we are going to get G-Dub on the Octopus beer bong, and we are going to compete. G-Dub, what do you always say about competing?
Don't ever, ever, ever apologize for
Okay.
competing, and don't ever apologize for winning.
Okay, well we're going. That's we've said it. Maybe this upcoming Sunday, we're gonna have to get G-Dub out there competing with the Browns bunch and the Dog Pound on, and maybe get some garage beer and toss it in the Octopus beer bong and see who can race. I might have to go back to my my frat days, and it'll be good old times. It'll be good. It's amazing, and I know. It's such a different side of things than like we've been a part of an experience before, and we got a chance to experience the Muni lot last year from the opening game.
My first time in my life,
because we've never got to do the obviously we've been playing as a player ourselves or coaching in every football game that we've been a part of when you're growing up. And one of those things about it is like you're playing when everybody else is playing. So when are you really getting the chance to go to somebody else's games? You're clearly not going to your own tailgates. So when are you getting a chance to go to somebody else's tailgates? And so that was like the first opportunity. And so take me back to like your experience with, say, like the Muni lot from even the prior Browns, right? The prior Browns that went to go be the Ratbirds, and then the new Browns coming back in '99, and kind of the history of the Muni lot.
Honestly, I didn't really go to the Muni lot prior to the Browns coming back.
Okay.
I moved away from Cleveland in my early 20s. I was gone from 20 to 28. So when I first moved back to Cleveland, the Browns were back, that hype was back, and I went down to the Muni lot, and I'm like, oh man, this is great. I want to do this every Sunday. This is fun. Win or lose, we still booze. It's fun down here. So I don't have any memories or stories to tell prior to the Browns leaving, other than just I knew about it, but I wasn't living here at the time to enjoy it.
But you weren't living here. You weren't down in it like you are now.
No, when I moved back to Cleveland from Dallas, like I said, me and friends and my cousins went down, and we just had the time of our lives, and we decided we're gonna go get a van. Let's just start making this our hobby.
Okay. So here's one for you. What time do you normally get there to the Muni lot, to get in? I mean, I usually see on Saturday nights, like I can remember even coaching at the Browns and seeing when we'd be going to the hotel, or we'd be at the hotel for Saturday night meetings and already see people lined up. And so what time do you get there in order to kind of get your spot?
I do have guys there the night before, especially for the home opener.
Okay.
It's a shit show. I mean, the line is all the way down Marginal, Lakeside, you name it, the cars are there. I have we pull straws. Whoever pulls the short straws has got to wait in line until I get there. Lot doesn't open until 8, I'm hearing, for this opener, because it's a late start. So we'll be down there. I'll be down there at 5 regardless, but I'm going to have guys down waiting prior to that. Just
That's special. Yep.
Well, any special like events or anything special planned for this opening game, which we know is going to be a huge game. I mean, we've got for the fans out there. Obviously, it's a 4:25 game. The Browns are playing the Dallas Cowboys in that afternoon primetime game. It's Tom Brady's first game announcing, so he'll be in town, and we'll be hosting the big play, tailgate over here at Burke Lakefront Airport and watch party for those that aren't going into the stadium next door, here in our lounge. But do you guys got anything fun or eventful planned for the first week, over there in the mini lot?
We're gonna bust out something new.
Okay.
Yeah. We got something new for that. I'm not going to spoil the surprise.
No, you're not going to spoil the surprise?
No. When we're done on air, I'll show you a picture so you know where to find us in a minute.
Okay.
Look for this and you'll know where we're at.
Do you got anything about like time or like if we wanted to see this or people wanted to see this in person?
Tailgate.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's going to be up the entire day. You're not going to miss it.
It's our new shiny toy.
Okay. Well, we got a new shiny toy for the Browns bunch at the Muni lot this upcoming Sunday, the 8th, for the Browns Kickoff Classic. It's going to be awesome. Hey, join us. Come out to the Burke Lakefront tailgate as well too. We're gonna have fun, games, prizes, drinks, the whole sort of thing. And if you don't end up going next door into the stadium or you don't have tickets or whatever, we're gonna have an awesome VIP watch party here in the lounge. But hey, stick right with us because when we get back, we're gonna be joined by Jason again and Coach G-Dub, and we're going to get into talking about the Browns in the season preview and the Dallas Cowboys preview. Welcome back in to Come Get Some, and it's finally here. Finally here. It's been a long time coming since that Houston Texans, heartbreak in the playoffs last year, and this slow preseason and this extra 2 weeks that we're talking about now, or the extra weeks, so 2 weeks between the end of preseason and the start of regular season. I don't think a lot of people watch the final preseason game at 10 p.m. in Seattle like we talked about, so it almost feels like it's been a month, since any sort of Browns play, but we're finally here. We're to Browns kickoff regular season week. And so the Browns are playing the Dallas Cowboys in the afternoon, the 4:25 primetime time slot in Cleveland against the Cowboys. Premier players on both teams. Tom Brady in town for his first for his first experience calling the plays, color commentator. Be careful what you wish for, right?
Careful.
It may be a little bit different than being out there audibling and checking and everything, but no, I'm sure
we can have a roast show of just him broadcasting. Maybe we can do that. I mean, maybe I can be the MC for that for him.
Maybe he's going to sit up there and roast you on the broadcast. I don't know, but hey, it's going to be a fun, exciting game. And so, Jason, I'll go to you first. What are you most excited about for this kickoff of the season right now? Either a player or just a theme. What are you most excited about seeing in this first game?
To see a healthy Deshaun.
Okay, and we're all hoping that he is healthy because we haven't seen him yet this preseason.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Enough's enough. First year I'll give him the excuse, the suspension that's out of his control. The injury last year, it's unfortunate, but it's year 3 with us. He's got to put up or shut up this year.
Yeah.
I think he's exceptional. Let's just be honest. If he's at least 80% of what he was in Houston, we got our guy. We'll be all right.
He has to do that. He has to stay healthy. And one of the things with Coach Dorsey and our good friends too, and is that here's the deal: they have to be demanding on staying on time. Because when Deshaun has been an unbelievable player when he's improvising, But when you improvise, we can no longer protect you, and you're going to take shots. You're going to take hits. Well, let's guess. You've already had those days, okay? You have to stay on time, be on time as a quarterback, and there's enough talent there to be very, very effective on offense. And I'm actually, going to watch and evaluate how good a job Ken Dorsey does with that.
Well, hopefully he takes a page out of it. And I just think as you're talking right there, he takes a page out of Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady's playbook. And you look at how they changed after they all had those big time injuries. Drew with his shoulder, was he ever going to play again when he was at the San Diego Chargers before he came to New Orleans? And then Tom Brady with the torn ACL, and Peyton with his stuff up here, and how they changed. They would not let you hit him. Like to a degree of they would go down. It'd be like a busted protection, busted
that
thing.
was it.
And they'd go down and take the sack without any contact on set.
That's smart.
And they'd be like, that's fine. I'll go 2nd and 18.
Yes.
Because watch what I do on 2nd and 18, and they'd throw like a 25-yard shot, or they'd get 10, 12 of it back. Now on 3rd and 6, they'd convert. And they say, now if I'm seeing stars or I'm out of the game, that wouldn't have happened. But I'm gonna, stay healthy, play on rhythm, not take the shots. What about you, Gita? What are you most excited to see and watch for in this first game?
I want to see the next step, because I'm so proud of Jim Schwartz and what they did defensively. They're going to be able to get after you pass rush wise. I can't wait to watch those guys too. But then some of the things they've done on tweaking a couple of coverage guys, and also tweaking a couple of strategic coverage examples on how they have to take out the top guy on the other side. What are you going to do to make sure that other guy is not getting the attempts and getting the shots, getting the throws at him? And I'm anxious to watch Jim do that.
Yeah, and as you talk about that, right, and we've talked so much, pay that man, right? And so CeeDee Lamb, they still haven't paid the other man, Dak Prescott, who's going to be throwing to CeeDee Lamb. But you'd like to say, in a vacuum in a normal week, that canceller outer is this Denzel Ward.
That's right.
But where is he going to be at?
Right.
With his health. But how are we going to X out and take away CeeDee Lamb, who is going to be primed and ready to go and wants to prove that he's worth that money that Jerry Jones just shelled out for him. Hopefully Denzel Ward's healthy, but also even if he isn't, I think
I'll
Schwartz
hang out
will be
outside the locker room.
I think Schwartz will be doing some stuff.
Gets through an inflatable helmet around his head, so he makes sure he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think Denzel Ward, and then Schwartz will be doing some stuff to roll some coverage that way. So what are you most now anxious about seeing? So not excited. What are you most worried about as we come into the start this season?
Anxious to see Chubb come back healthy and be the guy he was as well. He's, running the football is important in the AFC North.
Especially as the season wanes, especially with 17-game seasons now. I feel you as well, too. One of the all-time favorites. Hoping he comes back healthy. Can't wait to get him back, but don't want to rush him back, by no means. And I think we all saw, the pup listing wasn't a surprise, especially when we saw the revamped, a special revamp to his contract, which I think took his guaranteed to either a 12 or 11 games that he had to play. It was it was rare, but that lines right up with, okay, he's going to have to miss the first 4 weeks with pup and kind of that, hey, be back for the 5th or 6th game time frame.
And I think it's great that they're protecting him. I think that's great.
What about you, Gita? What are you most worried about or concerned about, putting on your coaching cap and what you see from the Browns right now?
The biggest thing right now is the juggling they've had to do with all the injuries up front. They're going to have some type of a synergy, some type of a balance. They've got to be able to run the ball. Okay, they've got to be, even when Nick's not ready. When Nick gets back, you're going to run the ball. I get that. But you got to situationally understand how to run the types of running backs you have, and then where are you going to play, the timing and the talking with the offensive linemen playing different positions that they didn't get enough reps on during the preseason.
Hey, I agree with you. I mean, I hope at the end of the day, inside zone. I mean, for me, it would be inside zone. It would be pin and pull, like front side pull. It would be power. So why? Because I'm going to leverage that interior line. I'm going to leverage Joel Bitonio. I'm going to leverage Wyatt Teller. If one of those guys go down, we got Zach Zinner in there. So those schemes that emphasize them and maybe devalue the tackles a little bit, and hopefully they're able to get some stuff going.
I'm going to be irritated if there's not enough pin and pull and power scheme. I agree.
And so real quick before we end this segment, let's get some predictions. And so, Jason, what's your prediction for this first game?
I am usually glass half empty
Uh-huh.
because I'm a Clevelander.
Uh-huh.
Just, how we are for the most part. I'm actually optimistic this year.
So Browns
and 34.
Okay. So we're scoring
Dallas
some
24.
Ooh, Browns 34, Dallas 24. So we're scoring some points.
Yeah.
We're scoring some points on Mike Zimmer's defense.
Yeah.
We're not winning.
And
What
right
about you,
right now,
G-Dub?
I've got the Browns 26-21.
Browns 26-21. That's an interesting scoregami there. I'm going to take the Browns. I'm going to take the Browns 21 and the Cowboys 17. The Browns are going to win 21-17. You heard it here, but hey, it's going to be an awesome game. Come out, join us for the party. Join us, get Cleveland going, get it lit, get it crunk. It's going to be a fun time. Hey, stick right with us. When we get back, we're going to go around the NFL. Welcome back in to Come Get Some, and it's not just Browns kickoff week, it's NFL kickoff week, and so this is our Around the NFL segment, and we have to start it with, a scare, a freak, crazy thing, but a scare, as we all saw with Ricky Parasol, the first-round draft pick for wide receiver for the 49ers, who was, here's the backstory. So this is him, sitting here with his shirt off, being taken into the ambulance, but he was in downtown San Francisco, Union Square. What not too long ago when we were going up and they were playing the 49ers was a safe, really nice, swanky place, and has now gotten pretty dangerous. But he was wearing a Rolex and he was heading to an autograph signing, and a 17-year-old kid tried to rob him, pulled a gun on him. They wrestled over the gun, whatever. Ricky Parasol was shot through the chest. Bullet exited out his back without hitting any vital organs. The 17-year-old kid, the robber, was shot as well too in the altercation and was immediately arrested. Both people seem to be doing stable. Ricky was released from the hospital today. Luckily, just amazing. Prayers up. We've unfortunately been a part of the opposite end of things. Where a shot in the dark, blind shot in the dark by a teenager just happened to strike Sean Taylor in the femoral artery, and he bled out before the paramedics could get there. And so, Ricky's extremely lucky. Our prayers are up with him and the San Francisco 49ers family. And man, we gotta do better in our cities, and we got to do better out there in San Francisco. It's getting absurd. But also sticking in San Francisco, you see out there they got one man signed, but Trent Williams is legitimately looking like, hey, he's about to have his second regular season holdout of his career. Remember, he did it at the former Redskins in order to get himself, ultimately to San Francisco. But he's not happy about the way things are going there. You saw all that, and do you still think he's probably the best, most dominant?
I think he's the best
left tackle.
Yep, he's
the way
still
the game's
in his prime
played right now.
He's still in his prime. He's not on any downward trend at all. No, he's still the player.
It's going to be interesting to see if what they can get worked out with them, though, because they've already paid all these guys. Yep. They've got all these young home. They know they're going to have to get ready to pay Brock Purdy at the end of this year.
Yep.
They've got the Bosas, all those type of people as well too. All these great homegrown players. So it'll be interesting to see how they figure it out. But hey, Kyle Shanahan wasn't, I guess, too isn't sweating it too much, because check this out. All right, he's got Rick Ross right here doing his best, I guess, Trent Williams impersonation.
Yeah, hope he can protect the passer.
Yeah, standing in right here. So he's hosting a party at the Shanahan household. Looks like he's got his pimp cane. Kyle's got his pimp cane. Brandon Ayuk, newly paid. Debo paid last year. Rick Ross, maybe Rick Ross is shelling out some of this money behind the scenes, or maybe he they said private equity's coming into the NFL now. Maybe Rick Ross bought some of the
this
49ers.
Isn't NIL. This is private equity. That's what we need right now. Yeah,
I guess
the cap go up so they can pay Trent.
I guess, but that would have been an interesting party. That would be definitely a party that I wish I would have been at. Kyle, can I get an invite next time you have that party out there? Man, my sister and brother-in-law and the family live out there in San Francisco in the Bay Area, so I'll be there, man. Just invite me. But G-Dub, we talk Browns in the Cowboys, and we know that's a huge thing that's on our mind. We're going to be out here hosting the game. But what's the other number one top game that you're excited to see this upcoming week?
Well, we've been talking about the 49ers, but really the 49er game with the Jets going out there, I want to see, okay, are there going to be a scoring points this year, Jets? Okay, are we going to be bottom in the league again? Okay, defensively, they can flat get after it and go. But, okay, we've got to put points on the board. Aaron, are you ready to roll? Can you get things going? It's going to be an interesting game, and I want to see it.
No doubt it's going to be interesting. It's the same defense. Like that, there's no
same defense.
The Jets defense and the 49ers defense are like carbon copies of one another. Obviously, we know Robert Saleh came from the 49ers to there, and they're still running kind of a blend of that defense. And then the talent is stacked, and so it's going to be very interesting to see. And I agree with you. That's going to be a huge game. How about this though? The 5 kind of primetime games of this week, and I think that the NFL got it right. Like if you look at it on paper right now, so the afternoon primetime game, along with the star power of Tom Brady calling it, color commentating it with the Browns Cowboys, big time. And then the Thursday night football kickoff, Ravens Chiefs, huge
big rematch.
Friday night football kickoff. We got it's not even good enough to have Black Friday, anymore. Now we got to have a Friday kickoff down in Brazil, Packers Eagles.
I think that's going to
be
a
huge game. And then Rams Lions for Sunday night football, Jets 49ers. Like when you look at the slate of games for this opening week, those 5 games are clearly on paper the 5 premier games.
I think the NFL schedulers hit a home run with those 5 games.
Now we just got, it's a production business, right? So now they got to go play. Well, hey, good luck to all the teams this week. Hey, prayers up again to Ricky Parasol. Get healthy quickly. Stick right with us, because when we get back, we're going to go around the sports world and get into the NCAA football. Welcome back into Come Get Some, and this is our Around the Sports World segment. And we know it's football time of the year, and especially in this country, in this continent, like this time of the year, football dominates the sports world. And so we've actually got some football going on. It's NCAA football, and it's a little anticlimactic, right? Like we've talked about this, hey, beggars can't be choosers. I get it. We've been wanting football since the UFL, season got over, right? But it's still a little bit of this weird thing, right, where the preseason kind of is a lull now, and then it gets over early, but then they don't play the games any earlier. We're in Labor Day weekend. We get this weird week 0 with and that's when, what FSU, Georgia Tech was playing over in Ireland. Get this weird week 0, some FCS games playing. And then now we got week 1, which is like a preseason exhibition week for a majority of these teams, right? Where I can't tell you how many 40+ point spreads were in this first week, and so it becomes anticlimactic and boring and no NFL yet. But so therefore, what ends up becoming so much of the talk. I mean, this case in point is Nick Saban going to kill Pat McAfee and or quit, and whatnot, and giving him the death glare when he is drunk overseas, or the death glare when he's jamming, and that's
I love those looks. Coach, it was great,
dude. That's just Coach Saban. That's what people don't get. That's just Coach Saban. That was a break in commercial, right? And this is how it was Pat McAfee and Coach Saban getting ready to perform. Yeah. That's how Pat McAfee acts when he was getting ready to perform. He was dancing and jamming while he was reading his notes, and Coach Saban is intense. Focused, intense.
And no doubt
he's
about
going
it.
through what he's going to say in his head and whatnot. It's like it's two different game day people, and that's all you're seeing and whatnot. But hey, what I'm interested in is have you seen the new VRBO commercial with Nick Saban?
Yes, I have.
Check this out right here for any of you guys that haven't seen it.
Take a look.
Check-in time is 3.
It's 2:55.
I know.
Is this what he's doing now?
Have a seat. As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. There's no streaming, only cable television.
Any games for the kids?
No games, no fun. The kids aren't even allowed in the house.
Allowed in the house.
That's the rule.
He gets it out of his book too. That's
He's got his
There's a
playbook.
great barbecue outside, but don't touch that. How'd you guys get inside? 2 flush maximum per bathroom visit.
Yes, Coach.
You guys got about 10 minutes because this is daddy time in the tub.
Oh, daddy time in the tub.
When other vacation rentals make you share your turf with a host, try one you have all.
That is classic. Kamina's goal. He's gone from Aflac to this VRBO, and we're involved. My family, we're involved heavily in real estate, rental properties and stuff like that up here in Northeast Ohio. So maybe that's what we're gonna have to do is get a G-Dub.
Oh, there we go.
G-Dub to be our come get some sponsor for our Airbnbs or whatnot.
You bet.
But hey, we did have some Ohio football. We've got the high school games that are kicking off big time, and then we had a little bit of a state tournament, with OSU versus Akron. We were right last week when we said, hey, take the points with Akron.
Yep.
It was a 50-point spread at that point. It was a 48.5-point spread as the game started, and OSU ended up winning by 46, so almost covering. But
points.
But it was 17-3 at halftime,
Yeah.
right? We were following it the entire day while we were out there at the Big Play Charity Invitational, which was so awesome. But what did you see from the Ohio State game as we were watching it during the golf tournament and watching the stuff after the fact? What stood out to you most?
The biggest thing is, and again, Akron's not as talented, but I thought defensively they've taken some really good strides. They've made some really good adjustments to the people they have, the players, and they're coaching more around the players over forcing the players into scheme they can't play.
Amen to that. I mean, they were a dominant defense last year. They've come back. They've retained a lot of their guys that people thought was going into the NFL. So that's one more case in point on the power of NIL money. We saw it with the team up north last year. Kind of had that where they had some guys come back, the Zach Sinners of the world and whatnot come back. Because of the NIL money secured them coming back and chasing a national championship. You see that now. I don't care who they're playing. Akron or anybody else. That defensive performance was so dominant, and then to score the 2 touchdowns, in the second half, that's really what blew the score open was
On
the
defense,
was on
scoring
defense. The
on
defense
defense.
scored, no doubt. And then, hey, I got to talk about this though. I was talking up Jeremiah Smith, right?
You were.
And so I was talking up Jeremiah Smith because I was down there in the spring, and then I was down there in the summer. And I mean, I trust Chip Kelly, those coaches down there, some of which we played, Josh McDaniels, some of those guys that are like Northeastern Ohio, Cleveland guys that are kind of out and whatnot. They were all through Ohio State this spring, and they all to a T were saying, even people not associated with the program were like, oh my God, like this guy would be a starting X in the NFL for a lot of teams in the NFL now. And he's a true freshman, 18-year-old kid. And I told you, I mean, I saw him and I was like, this guy looks like an NFL player now.
Yep.
I mean, he's built like an NFL player. He moves. He's got a maturity about him, a toughness about him. But then you see, and he comes out in the first game and has 6 catches for 92 yards or something like that and 2 touchdowns. And everybody's like, dude, we can't catch a break with these. Like, we get Marvin Harrison Jr. out of here and we got a better player coming in.
He is
maybe,
a really good player.
And so that was exciting and good to see. How about this? The early award on the season for hype video was the USC hype video. Can we cue this up? Let's watch this USC hype video.
Awesome.
Again, this NIL world we live in now, NIL money, we get some cool stuff like this.
It's by far the best one I saw all week.
Looking like one of these bombers, out back here at Burke Lakefront that we got to walk through today.
There they go. Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Fire up all the fans.
Man, if that doesn't get you jazzed,
I
hair
know.
standing up, you know what that reminds me of? Like the early Tennessee, like when the Tennessee Titans first became the Titans, and opened up their stadium, like they had hype videos and stuff that their production team or whoever had made there that was unlike anybody else would have. And they would have it on the Jumbotron during the game. And I remember how and we didn't lose for 2 straight years.
Yeah.
We did not lose a single home game in that stadium, including playoffs and stuff like that for the first 2 years it was open. And it almost took me back to that, you know? And hey, if you're going to play in those games, though, if you're going to come out like that, you better come out and win like that. And we had so many great performers this week, but this is our NCAA POWs, Players of the Week and Plays of the Week part of this segment.
Great plays.
And the air ground, I've got the air Player of the Week, and that was the great wide receiver Taylor McMillan from Arizona, who's already been a stud in previous years. 10 catches, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable. G-Dub, who was your ground player of the week?
The ground pounding player. How about this? Aston Genty. Did you see the stats? The Boise State running back.
We were watching him. We were watching him out at the golf course, right? I mean,
unbelievable.
20 for 267, 6 touchdowns. You like to play defense with that, right?
Oh yeah, I love that.
Here's the crazy thing about that too is they needed every single one of his touchdowns. They barely won that game. It was back and forth every game, and they won that game by him running the ball.
Yep.
How about this? Play of the week. Robert Morris, DB, Rob Carter Jr.
Phenomenal.
Broke his left hand earlier in the game versus Utah State. And so he elevated right here and intentionally went backhand, one-handed interception with his good hand. He kept playing the game, didn't come out with his broken hand, and went and made that pick. Oh, my goodness. And our final play of the week is off the field, not on the field, but Oklahoma standout star linebacker Danny Stutzman.
Obviously there's days where you feel like your hard work doesn't get seen, doesn't get noticed, but it really does here at Oklahoma. And every single day we appreciate you guys. This team would be nothing without you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I truly do mean that. And I feel like I have a really good connection with all you guys.
Yep. And so what you're seeing right there is Danny is giving $50,000. Danny's giving $50,000 of his own money, his own NIL money, to all of the walk-ons there at OU. That's what being a great teammate's about, and that's really what NIL is all about. But hey, stick right with us, because when we get back, we're gonna have our 2-minute segment. Welcome back in to Come Get Some, and this is our 2-minute drill to round it out. And Gita, what would we normally be alerting as defensive coaches on to start a 2-minute drill?
Well, the first thing would be substitutions and throwing over the top.
Yep, and or draw or screen, right? Draw or screen. Well, we're going to alert here tonight the Big Play Invitational Golf Tournament that we had. We had an awesome Big Play First Invitational Golf Tournament out at Little Mountain Golf Club.
Good.
These are my kids, which I was so proud, so happy of them. Tristan played with us the entire time, but very proud of my daughter, Dakota, a.k.a. Coco here, who came out there for her school. You see her with her Titans, Bria Titans cheerleading outfit on, but she came out there for her school, Grindstone Elementary, and raised $610 for her school for charity, for meals for kids that need it, and supplies and field trips and stuff like that this year. And she was doing TikToks, and she was a little salesperson out there. Awesome. And also wanted to say that the first big Grindstone PTA fundraiser and charitable event that we're doing this year, my wife's the president of it, is the Hot Diggity Dog Night at Grindstone coming up in Berea. So if you're in Berea, you're a Berea native, you're a Berea parent, grandparent, hey, come out to Grindstone Elementary, support. G-Dub and I are going to be the surprise guest MCs of it. We're going to have hot dogs, inflatables, party, fun, and it goes to our kids. Nothing's more important than our kids and our community, raising money for them so they can have a great future. Don't forget, we have our Big Play Burke Lakefront tailgate and VIP watch party this weekend for the game. Come join us, and G-Dub, send us out and make sure they hear us down in Dallas.
Ready, break.
Come get some,
Jerry.